Welcome to the Louie Herron Podcast, where I'm going deep into business, sales, leadership, and life. And I mean life, from the boardroom to the bedroom, from business acquisitions to personal addictions, from being saved yet still feeling like a slave, from manning up to mousing out, dealing with divinity to reality. This podcast is dedicated to growth, learning, inspiration, and healing. Jump in, hang on, and hang out. You'll never know which topic I'll tackle next. But one thing's for certain, I'm here to share my experiences, strengths, failures, and hope, all to help us live life at the highest level we can. Well, back again, guys. How are you, man? This is Louie Herron here with the Louie Herron Podcast. Excited again. Last week we talked about the psychology of leadership. And actually, at the end of that, I started thinking to myself, okay, what is the psychology of your personal best, becoming your personal best? What are the actionable steps to enhance all areas of your life? Guys, I've got some stuff for you today that I think is going to be inspiring and help just explore some of the psychology behind achieving personal excellence. Again, whether you're aiming to excel in your career, improve your personal life, or create a harmonious home environment, a successful marriage. Golly, that's so important, guys. Anybody that's married, you know what I'm talking about. You've got to have a successful home front. This episode, I believe, will give you some more actionable steps, some insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Hopefully, the version you have yet to see, guys. Hopefully, you know, some of us look. I'm a realist, and I go in waves. I'm sure you go in waves in the sense that there's sometimes you're extremely motivated, man, to be your best, and other times you're just like, fuck it, man. Like I'm tired. You know, I mean, my adrenals are burnt. Like I don't have any more bandwidth to grow. Or maybe you've done your best to grow, personal development. You've done some things, and it just petered out. It didn't work out for you. And so what happens? You get negative on it. You know what? Forget it. I'm tired. I'm not going to do that anymore. It didn't work. Again, all of these strategies, all these things that we do, guys. The key of becoming your best version of yourself is realizing. I have to realize, you have to realize, we have to realize this is a freaking lifelong journey. There's not an end result. Although we say to ourselves, when I get this, then I will be, right? And that's like the kiss of death, because when I get, then I will be. The problem is when you get, there's a new get that you need to be something else. So if we just step back, and I promise you, when I'm talking to you, I am talking to me. When Louie just steps back, yes, I just use my name in a third person. When I step back and I really isolate, okay, I want all the great things of this world. I want a great relationship and build my relationship spiritually with God. I want to build the phenomenal relationship I have with my spouse and partner. I want to have the best possible relationship I can have with my children. I want the biggest business. Man, I want the greatest business, the best training business, the best coaching business, the best dealer consulting business I can put on the planet. All those things are fine. I think at the same time, we've got to just take a step back and realize there are so many facets. So let's sit back, let's buckle up, and let's talk about the importance of striving for personal excellence. I wanted to say this to start off. I'll use just kind of, not a metaphor, but kind of, I guess, an example of when I was coming up to try to, I guess, indoctrinate myself in this thinking of positivity, this thinking of getting better. I remember specifically when I was probably 20 years old, getting in the car business, I really started seeing that a lot of people were making a lot of money. And at that time, I was on my own, not making any money. And I just dropped out of college. And I just started to consume books. I started to consume audios. At the time, there were CDs and audio cassettes, VHS tapes, if you recall. I'm dating myself a little bit. But I started getting this information and content back then, before there was YouTube, before there was social media, and I just was avid about taking notes, listening, growing, memorizing, learning, and becoming the best, because I felt like if I could do what the people that have gone before me, maybe I can have some of the things they had. Now, in that ignorance, I didn't realize there's more to this life than just money, right? At the time, that was my sole focus. I didn't realize there was body, there's my being and spirituality, right? There's my balance in the relationships, right? And then there was business, right? So I didn't have that same categorically thinking mindset as a 20-year-old kid, and still as a 50-year-old man, I'm still developing that. But I just think it's important to not give up on your dreams, not give up on even starting a dream, not give up on yourself. Don't give up on your marriage. Continue the journey to becoming the very best you possibly can be. If we look at the definition of personal excellence and its significance, guys, it's simply put, personal excellence is the goal of personal development. It means that you are a master of yourself. Hello, check this out. It's the master of yourself and your actions. Go back to what we said last week: consistency, discipline. This is the crux of all achievement, in my opinion. Achievement and positivity and end results that we all love and cherish. Master of yourself, your emotional intelligence, and your behaviors and actions. The ability to make the right choice at the right time. You're confident in yourself because you know what you can do and how to do it, even faced with challenges and difficulties. If I look at my life, I carried a whole section of my life with challenges, overcome them like a mother, buddy. I freaking ate them for lunch. I had my mindset. As I grew older and had more to lose and allowed more fear to set in, and divorce ensued, and certain things happened in my life, I started to really see, we got a problem. The discipline, the choices, the behaviors, all those things were starting to get cracks in the armor. And so I want to encourage you, if you've experienced some of those cracks in your armor, don't give up. Don't give up. Again, the role of the mindset and attitude in achieving your personal best is like literally the foundation. So if you go back and you look at the attitude you have right now, if you say, okay, I'm going to be the best version of X, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. What is your mindset and what is your attitude towards that? Because if the mindset is not one of this unbreakable, and your attitude is not one of optimism and positivity, realizing you're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen, it's going to be a challenge. And so the impact of self-belief and motivation is key to pushing forward and getting the ignition started, right? We want to start the car. Right, you got to have some gas in the car, got to have the key to ignite the car, and then someone's got to drive the car. So let's talk about a few actionable steps for achieving personal excellence. Again, much like I did last week with psychology of leadership, this is not much different, this first part, guys. And we talked about it last week. I'm going to reiterate it again, and I'll reiterate it every single time because it's important. Defining the vision for your personal excellence. What is the vision? Look at your body. Look at your balance, look at your being, and look at your business, your body, your health. What is your vision, right? Your being is your spirituality and connection to God. What is your vision? Your relationships, right? That's the balance. Kids, spouse. What's the vision for personal excellence? And then your business. You're operating, running a business. You're a VP. You're a top sales guy. It sounds laborious. But I'm here to tell you, man, we've got to figure this out, and nothing in this world, okay, comes to us easy. Nobody's doing the push-ups for us on our behalf. It's something we've got to learn to do and learn to love the journey. I think it's important to break down the long-term goals into manageable steps. Put things on paper, figure out what it is, and then break that shit down. Break it down so you can have some consistency, right? The old if you Google the old SMART method, the SMART criteria for goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, right? That's the SMART theory. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I have other ways that I put goals in place, but this is very simple, and I encourage you, just go Google the SMART goals, just the SMART criteria goals. It's just specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, right? You got to have goals that have timetables of, like, you just can't have a goal out there and not a specific time to meet that. So again, I talked about just earlier about having the growth mindset. This is critical because when you're embracing challenges and experiencing viewing failures as opportunities that are not of learning. Again, you're experiencing challenges and you're viewing some failures as opportunities you're not viewing as a learning opportunity. Listen, the old adage, I've said it in my book, Driven by Fire, I said, God doesn't do things to you. God allows things
for you. The perspective of when a challenge arises immediately, mindset now, we're talking mindset. Challenge comes up, mindset, I know this is for my good. Challenge comes up, mindset, I know this is for my good. I know somehow, some way, this is for my good. I know this is going to grow me. I know this is going to be beneficial to me. I don't care how bad it is. Is that easy? Hell no. Absolutely not. We're talking about a mindset, though, an unbreakable mindset. A challenge comes up. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know somehow, some way, this is for my good. Foster a love for learning and self-improvement. If we're talking about cultivating a growth mindset, if we're talking about expansion, we're talking about getting better, you've got to cultivate a growth mindset. So my question to you is, do you have love for learning and self-improvement? And if you say you do, which I hope you do, the question is, what do you do for learning and self-improvement? Do you attend seminars? Do you buy courses? Do you read books? Do you listen to podcasts? What do you do? Because here's the thing, guys, just because school is over and you graduated, okay, that formal education does not take the place of self-education. We've got to get better not only in our craft, what we're currently doing for a living in a profession, and master that, but we've got to learn to love learning ourselves and how we can get better for self-improvement. Surrounding yourself with positive influences. What's the adage? The 5 people you hang around is who you become. Here's my question to you. Do you even have 5 people? This is what I find. In most men are married with children that run a business or have a business, and I fell into that camp, and I'm not that far from it. Is we work, come home with the family, we get up, we work, we come home with the family. You don't even have 5 positive influences in your life. You don't even have 5 other men. That's why men's groups. That's why disciple groups. That's why some of these groups that you see. It's the value of surrounding yourself around positive influences, other men going in the same direction, going in the direction you want to be, other men growing and learning. Listen, we have to have this. You have to have this as a base, as a foundation. We need things to bounce off other men to get better and grow, guys. This is all part of cultivating a growth mindset. The other thing is practice self-discipline and consistency. I touched on this a second ago. I'm not going to beat it up, but I want to tell you there's massive, massive benefits in developing routines and habits that support your goals. Listen to me, and I'm telling you this because I tell myself this all the time. Develop routines, consistencies, habits, things that are done on a regular basis, whether that's get up at a certain time, the same exact time, eat certain foods, get to the gym, exercise, have your time to do your studying, your work, the time that you read, the time that you meditate, the time that you journal, all of those things. Guys, I know, again, it could feel like you don't have that time, but the development of those routines and habits will support your goal. That self-discipline, that self-mastery, that consistency is what makes the difference in the definition of what we talked about in personal excellence, right? It's personal development. It means you're the master of yourself. You're a master of your actions. So again, how can you be the master of self and the master of actions if you don't work on mastering some self-discipline and some consistency? It's a no-brainer, and it's something that we've got to learn to develop. And when you're around other people that are thinking the same way, which is why hopefully you guys listen to this podcast and many others, because they're thinking and thought process of people that have perspectives that we're all striving for, right? To stay committed to your own personal and professional development is vital. So in managing your time effectively and prioritizing these tasks are going to be the key to make sure that you can develop the routines and the habits. Let me say it again. Managing your time effectively and prioritizing your tasks. How are you going to manage your time effectively? Well, I always say, at least I've said for many years, is you never start a day until it's finished. Never complete a day till it's finished. What that simply means is at the end of every single day, tomorrow's already identified. You've heard me say it. I think it was on podcast number 7. Listen to me. If you want the fastest way the devil to come join you is have an open calendar. Have nothing on your schedule. I promise you the devil will jump in, hang out on your lap, and you go for the craziest ride you've ever been to when you got nothing to do, when you're bored, when you're not working on self. So again, managing that time effectively, prioritizing your task. Again, the word prioritize. What is most important? You've got 4 areas, man. Body, being, balance, business. You've got your health, you've got your relationship with God, you've got your relationship with your family, and you've got your business. You've got 4 core areas that are opportunities for you to manage the time, but most importantly, prioritize. Prioritize your body. If that vessel stops working, I don't care how hard you work, you ain't going nowhere. I promise you, if you don't take care of your spouse, or you don't take care of your partner, and that gets cattywampus on you, I promise you, you're not moving effectively. You will be so freaking blacked out, so damn sideways, you can't function properly. So we have to prioritize these things to ensure that we're effectively working on the consistency and the self-discipline to make things happen. We talked about emotional intelligence, understanding and managing your emotions in the business world, right? We talked about that last week in the psychology of leadership. But again, developing that empathy to improve all your interpersonal relationships is vital. Vital. I mean, practicing that effective communication and the conflict resolution. If you guys are listening to me, and again, I can tell you from 100% authenticity, some of the biggest bugaboos, some of the biggest blockers for me is effective communication and conflict resolution. Look, all of us have the fight or flight syndrome within us. It's hardwired. You either fight or you flight. Either way you go can be fucked up. Period. I don't care how you look at it. If you fight, sometimes it's over dominant and it's demonstrative, and it takes you down a road you don't want to go. If you flight and you run from something you need to confront, it will affect you. You can't run from forever. We've got to focus on running towards gain versus running from pain. Focus on what we want and how do we achieve that? How do we get closer to that? Not run from the fear of what we don't want. So the last couple things I want to point out that I think is extremely important, and we talked about it with body being balance in business, is your health and well-being. I think, again, maintaining that balanced diet and that regular exercise routine is vital. I think prioritizing your mental health and your stress management. Okay. And I think sleep and relaxation, guys, we all, if we're in the business world, we're all workaholics and we all want to try to squeeze more time and we're all trying to get these things done. But when it comes to stress management and it comes to adequate sleep and having some kind of relaxation, I can assure you, listen, when you take a vacation once a year, that's not enough. You take a vacation twice a year, it's probably not enough. The body is going to respond and it regulates based on what it experiences on a daily basis, guys. This mental health component, again, toxic relationships, toxic environments at work, again, affects the stress, affects the sleep, affects everything. So again, these are things that we're talking about really striving to be our personal best in everything that we do. And I'm encouraging you guys to focus on that on a daily basis to make that happen. So, guys, listen, I appreciate your time. Do me a favor again, if this is the first time you've heard me, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, those that have been with me for a little bit, do me a favor, please share, like, maybe even leave a comment. It means so much. Some of you guys have left reviews that I totally appreciate. Again, this is the Louie Herron Podcast. If any of you want more content information as it regards leadership or sales or business, you can go to louieherron.com. And until next week on the Louie Herron Podcast, we will see you next time.